Now the image here would be coffeestore.image URL, as we saw here. And for the href, since it's a dynamic route, we want this part to link to a unique value. So we can use ID as the unique value. So we can say ID here or coffeestore.id. But since we are referencing an actual object value inside a string, we can use string interpolation over here and use curly braces. And then we can call the ID just like that. All right. It seemed to be looking good, so let's go ahead and check out in the browser. Whoops, there is an error. Now the error says invalid source prop, the image, and on next image. Hostname images.unsplash.com is not configured under images in your next.config.js file. Okay, so if we take a look at our JSON file, the image URL over here, let's open that up. Now, this image URL is actually from images.unsplash.com. So what the error is trying to say is that we need to configure it so that Next.js knows that, hey, this image is good and this is a host name that we are aware of. And we can also open this URL that gives us more information. Now, a possible way to fix this specific error is to add the host name to your images config in next.config.js file. So in this file, we see this object. We need to configure our domain images.unsplash.com to resolve this. But let's take a second to understand what this file does. Now, this file allows us to configure our Next.js application further. It is very powerful. You can do a lot in this file. Now, we will keep exploring and adding to this file throughout this course as needed. But for now, all you need to know is that it allows you to add a lot to it, as you can see right here. You can configure environment variables in next.config.js file, set up base paths, redirects, add custom headers, and lots more. But all you need to know right now is next.config.js file allows us to configure our application further, and it's a very useful file. So back to the error. Let's copy this code and head over to our editor. Copying this code, moving to our VS Code and creating a new file here called next.config.js and paste it. Now instead of assets.example.com, we can say images.unsplash.com. Now that we have configured this, let's go back to the browser and check if it still complains. And let's refresh the page. And it still does. We probably need to restart the server, so let's do that. And refresh it again. And there you go. We can see the images rendered right here from Unsplash. So if we click on these cards, Strangelove Coffee, it does route to the correct route. And if we go back to home and go to Dark Horse Coffee, it does go to the #1 route. Alright, sweet. Our card component is configured with actual data. I'll see you in the next one.